Hi everyone, my name is Yonela and welcome back to the 4 Degrees podcast where we talk all things climate. And in today's episode, we are focusing on precious and all things climate change and health. Yeah.
Yay!
Yay! Don't
I'm
be
a
scared.
guest.
We don't grill people here, as you should know.
Yeah, it's chilled. But yeah, thank you.
Yeah.
How are you guys doing?
Yeah, doing great. Very excited for this episode.
I
As
am
I
excited.
Yeah. So to
Well,
just
Mm.
lead us off, we thought of just going with what's been happening climate change or weather-wise this week, and Philip has something to say about that.
Yeah.
Is it?
Yeah, you have something
Actually,
to tell us.
I heard a lot of times this week in the news that about the recent climate, the warming statistics for the past years. It came up a lot. I think one of the organizations that we also spoke about, WMO and Copernicus, have published new figures that again confirmed that depending on how you calculate it, last year there's either the third or second hottest ever, and again like the last 11 years were the 11 hottest years since the 1880s. That was not what I wanted to talk about.
We're getting to that 1.5 sooner or
Sure.
later.
Yeah, I mean the assumptions is, or the projections that we'll reach it by 2030 roughly.
Interesting.
Interesting.
And the
So it's
reason
getting
why that's
hotter.
interesting.
Yeah, I
So it's
mean
been
not a surprise.
Yeah, not a surprise. Always a fact, especially on this podcast. We've made it very clear.
And we've seen with the heat waves that we've been having
Yeah.
that like Cape Town temperatures almost reached, well, they did actually go above 40 degrees.
Yeah.
And I couldn't handle it personally.
I couldn't.
Yeah. I mean,
And I mentioned not to drink ice cold water like you said in the other episode.
did you or didn't you?
I didn't drink ice cold water.
Because it's better for your metabolism if you drink warmer.
Yeah.
Be-
So you
bever-
see, I'm learning
beverages.
something.
We're learning a lot on this podcast.
Yeah.
But you had something about a conference.
Yeah,
of
it's not
parties.
really. I mean, it's not really. Like, don't want to present it, but because it's a bit like it's up my alley. It was the COP 15, and we know COP stands for Conference of Parties, and for all those legal conventions in the environmental or the international environmental and climate space, they have yearly conferences or biannual conferences that are called Conference of Parties. So COPs, COPs. And a lot of times everyone only talks about COPs and no one really knows what it means. But it's like the institutionalized meeting of all the signatories of that specific agreement. So it was the COP 15 of the Convention on Migratory Species and their protection.
Which is related to what you writing about,
sort of,
right?
exactly.
Wow.
And it's quite interesting that this is like one of the oldest international conventions and agreements on the protection of biodiversity, and it's specifically on migratory species because they are extremely vulnerable to not only climate change but also other human pressures like habitat fragmentation, pollution, etc. Because their habitats are like spread across everywhere.
Ooh.
Dee, what's your
Speaking of
favorite
crops,
migratory species?
Well, I only know, not me not lie. I know birds. I know also marine animals migrate sometimes. Whales. I think.
Whales?
Yeah.
Turtles? If anyone who watched Finding Nemo remembers the turtles in that, in that
All I know
ocean
is
current?
Finding
Yes.
Nemo.
You're right.
I love Finding Nemo. I love it.
That's all. Oh, I know buffaloes in Kenya, Tanzania, in that area.
Or the wildebeest.
Well, yeah. And have you heard about the establishment that built a
corridor?
In the corridor? It built I think a lodge
I know
or a hotel
in
the middle of where they're supposed to pass,
Yeah.
or they've been passing for the past whatever years.
Did they finally remove it?
It's still there. I saw a video where they were chasing the buffaloes. I don't know if it's wildebeest or buffaloes, away from the establishment when it was time for them to cross. Imagine that.
That's also a story that we should really get into of, you know, like, because...
in our investigative journalism episode.
Like, how do we have someone getting in the way of like
how was that approved?
That animals use?
Who approved it?
Who approved it? Like, do we not know this? You know, stuff like that.
Yeah.
I mean, surely, it's about accountability, but also about the legal framework. So clearly, there's
no policy that protects the animals.
To build there'll be a trade-off that probably is between protection of the environment.
So it boils down to the fact that who do we prioritize more? Economic development or the animals? Yeah.
And then who's benefiting, who's profiting?
Right.
I mean, this specific one just cannot make any sense from a development perspective.
Yeah. Anyways,
great.
Now zooming in back to Precious again.
Yeah, actually moving to Precious.
So
health,
Precious.
Biodiversity health, human health. What health are we talking about?
Tell us about this broad field.
Okay.
What's in there?
It's a trending topic, I would say. Very big right now.
Like a banner on the podcast now, trending. Like
trending.
One of those like running through banners.
Yeah,
trending.
just running like trending.
Trending health. Trending.
It is a trending topic. It's a trending place that people are looking into because there's so much that is in it. And like you asked, is it health for humans? Is it for animals? Both. So it's zoonotic and human health. But I'll speak mostly for human health because that's where I'm a bit not well versed, but that's where I am focusing on right now.
Zoonotic.
Like
animals.
zoology, then animal diseases. Yeah.
So in the climate change and health space for humans,
yeah,
what are the emerging research pathways that are there?
Yeah. So there's a lot. There's a lot of pathways. So climate change has all these impacts: extreme heat, extreme events, sea level rise, all of this, right? And then there is what you would call five pathways in which climate change is affecting human health. So there's air quality. The air gets really bad when it gets really warm, and certain pollutants actually thrive in a warm climate.
Like smog.
I'm not really entirely sure of the chemical names, so I'm not going to say sulfur oxides. No, I'm not going to do that. But certain pollutants are actually really they thrive in heat, and thereby there's people in the streets, there's people at home, it rises up, and then you end up having all these respiratory infections, especially if you stay in places that are really close to coal mines. Then it's like you're gonna have double the thing. Already the air there is not so good, and then it gets warmer and everything. So there's air quality, and then there is
but normally what was I gonna say? Normally in mining towns you say there's pollutants and all those things, but could you say the same thing about people living in the cities? They're exposed to the same because of the traffic congestion and all those industrial things that happen in the city. Is it different or the same?
It's different pollutants, but it's the same. It's all air pollution, right? Where if I live in the city, then there's obviously quite a lot of cars. So there's pollutants that come from cars, from our
trucks,
from our cars that are fossil fueled,
and power stations.
Yeah.
Okay.
And then if you're in a mining town, then obviously you have mining pollution, plus all of that. Okay. So there's that, but
there's also from a climate perspective, a mitigation factor. So we can actually work towards improving human health by mitigating or reducing carbon emissions by promoting just transition to using different energy sources away from coal, that also makes cars cleaner, ideally, etc.
That's
concept
exactly like
of,
we're all like interconnected. That's exactly what really happens.
The concept
in, like,
of the sustainable cities or green cities, where
Mm-hmm.
they put plants in the roofs and all those things.
So there's all of that where like every sector in the climate change space ties into each other, especially now the just transition. If we mitigate, then it means that climate and health will be like, will lessen the burden on health. So that's the climate and health part. There's also the diseases part where certain climate sensitive, a lot of infectious diseases actually are very climate sensitive. And if it gets warmer, so for example, I'll take, for example, there's been a flood. So there's been a flood, but there was someone or a certain group of people who were having, like, for example, cholera. There was a cholera outbreak. Before we know it, it's an epidemic. Before we know it, it's like a whole big thing because there was a flood and then a lot of things are destroyed. The water goes to like so many other places to the next town, and then we now have like an outbreak that was in a municipality going all the way to district level, provincial level, stuff like that. So there is the diseases. There is also diseases that are transmitted by certain hosts, like animal hosts, where a mosquito in malaria, a mosquito is like a host for the Plasmodium falciparum parasite, which causes malaria, right? So it will, that's the one that's very common in Africa, in Southern Africa. Then if it gets warmer, the mosquito is actually more active, apparently. So it changes its behavior, and now it like wants to, like it's very active, it wants to bite. But now it has this parasite, and then it's going to take it to the next person, and then before you know it, it's like it gets... So there is that part of climate and health. That's the second part. There's also the part of food and water security. Self-explanatory. You have a drought, water security
So
gets
malnutrition.
low. Malnutrition, which now tied to like SDG 2.
And might affect other aspects of like life, like attention span of students in schools, your productivity at work, and all those. So it's like a whole lot of interconnectedness.
Everything.
It's like everything is like interconnected to climate. And maybe what I like about this episode is that we're going to get into like all of the other things that we get to talk about, all the other things that climate and health is tied to, but it also ties to like every other thing: mitigation, adaptation. It ties to it ties to biodiversity. So there is also the other pathway, which is through extreme heat and extreme weather events. That includes the floods, that includes the heat wave that we experienced a week ago. A lot of people actually got sick. A lot of people felt nauseous. A lot of people could not. School went on.
It affected my sleep.
I think like all of Cape Town wasn't really sleeping.
But everyone was up.
I actually don't know whether any like attribution studies were done on the past week.
It's probably ongoing.
But
it's probably like ongoing.
But I think what it just like anecdotally showed is like how just like high temperatures affect like everyone's metabolism. Also, when you mentioned the mosquitoes, the warmer it gets, like the more slow I become. I realized. So interestingly, the mosquito then speeds up.
So you won't have energy to swat it.
Like by the time you like,
so you can really like sense how like heat affects your body, and we'll be seeing much more of this. And as you said, through climate change, more heat waves, which means like a longer term exposure to higher temperatures and perhaps higher than average or unexperienced high temperatures. So that's that also will confront us with so far like unprecedented stress. So, like,
there is a lot. There is a lot that we like now. That part, like what you're saying, that you can't do anything. You're slower. Then it ties to the fifth pathway, which is like social factors, whereby I felt really hard if anyone had invited me anyway. I was going to, I don't know, I was probably not going to react so well because also I'm agitated by the heat. So
Yeah.
my mood changes, which then goes to explain there has been certain studies, not a lot and not like really well, like it hasn't been done to the T, like the population wasn't so great, but there has been, you know, like these studies on heat and crime, where you actually look at like how much does crime actually go up when it gets warmer, like does it, but then
Is
we
there
need
a
like
link?
There's
I would
a-
assume that we're all lethargic
There's-
because
there's
it's too
also-
hot.
There's also research on how it affects behavior in traffic. You know, this is
Mental
because-
health.
Yes, and that ties to mental health.
I'm
And
telling
already
you,
traffic and noise has an effect on mental
on
health.
mental health.
So that again exacerbated by
I
high
saw
temperatures.
people playing rock, paper, scissors in traffic during that week. And it was on the news. It made international news. So
When they're just trying to calm themselves down.
I guess just to beat the, to go through the traffic.
Yeah, but yeah,
Well, coping strategies.
it's a
you know.
coping
Yeah.
strategy. I love that coping strategy because then you really know what really affects you, and you're like, I'm not gonna do this. I'm not gonna fall for this. But
Now, imagine it's warm, you didn't get much sleep, number one. Number two, you wake up, it's already 30 degrees, you're pissed. Sorry for my language, but... and then you have to report to work, and then no one is delivering on anything. You're at the tipping point where you might scream at somebody and possibly get a warning. Or you get sent home to cool yourself.
to cool yourself
Yeah.
down.
And
But you can't
If-
cool yourself
if-
down because
exact-
it's very hot.
Unless you have air conditioning.
in the office.
And then that again, like seriously, feeds into like it's a social topic, right?
Yeah.
So who can afford air conditioning?
Yeah, other
where's,
workspaces don't have the same.
electricity wise,
Yeah.
but also even like getting the infrastructure for air conditioning working.
There is a
and-
lot.
And again, this then feeds into general energy use, which then is a mitigation topic.
It's a loop.
this whole
It's a loop,
vicious
yes.
vicious circle.
It's a whole circle.
and
And
it shows like how we have to actually think of like a systemic solution to climate change,
yeah,
because it just
Yeah.
touches on every
Yeah.
aspect of life, and it just
Although
doesn't
you
help
contextualize
finding a
some
solution for one
solutions, but then you have to
item.
like find ways that they connect to other issues. Maybe
Yeah.
beating two birds with one stone.
yeah.
Yeah.
And I think that's the main reason why it's very important to be in a transdisciplinary setting, research group, or setting where I will go like, I'm gonna focus on fungal infections. And then someone will look at me like, yes, fungal infections in public health, there's this thing that we have to do this thing. And then someone will go like, but then is there a law for that? For example, I'm thinking if I'm agitated and then I get a warning at work, would someone ever think it was the heat? Or would they just think that I'm
That
not
it's
You're
a
you.
going
person?
through stuff.
That it's
Like
you.
it's a
It's
an
a you
attitude
thing.
problem.
Yeah.
Would anyone ever think about that? I don't think so. Unless maybe
Yeah.
climate and law, they
I
start
think-
talking about mental health and they're like, if it's too hot,
Yeah, I think we'll have to get HR involved. It's my personal opinion.
right?
Well, the city of Cape Town did posted posters or pictures to just warn people that stay hydrated, keep cool, be compassionate to the elderly,
Yeah.
and stay out of the heat. Yeah, so I guess maybe if there's official communication, maybe from like a municipality or the news, if they say, oh, because of the heat waves, people will tend to behave this way and that way, that way. Don't take it personally, but don't fire someone based off of it.
But
in-
that's
in the
only
same
if we have actual research on that, which is the reason why a lot of research has to be done. Like
Yeah.
a lot of research has to be done on mental health issues when it comes to climate change, heat health, when it comes to diseases and everything and all that. Because I know for sure a lot of people probably get like tummy bugs quite a lot, so you might skip work quite a lot. Now, does it mean that all those 3 days I'm given a month for sick leave, is it enough? Probably in summer I need more. I probably need more sick days because I'm probably going to be sick for the most part. if it's too hot.
Imagine everyone fainted in the workplace when it's hot.
And then
How do they deal with that?
So it's all tied together. But I have a fun article I read. I read it on the Wellcome Trust page, and it was this. There was this question about are fungal infections or allergens getting more, allergens or are they getting more? Are they getting higher allergens, so to say, because of the heat? And there were quite like some interesting things about like fungi is good for the environment. We can't take that out. Like, I mean, we
Penicillin.
get mushrooms from fungi, right? And it's really great. But there's also that, what they call pathogenic fungi.
That's the best thing about fungi.
No,
That we
mushroom.
can-
I love
we
button
can
mushrooms.
we can make omelette.
Right? I love mushrooms.
But also medicine.
But also medicine.
Medicine,
Like it's
but also it's like the whole like underlying network for like any plants,
It is,
vegetations,
yes.
ecosystems.
It's
yeah,
really
like a
great.
communicator, even according
Yeah.
to like new research. Right?
Mhm.
It's like
Stir
information is
fries.
exchanged
in between fungi. You know, it's really great, and I loved it. And I was like, yeah. But then now there's the pathogenic fungi, which causes either you're going to have an allergic reaction or you're actually going to get a respiratory infection. Everyone knows that you don't want to get a fungal respiratory infection. It's like, it's not good.
Doesn't it spread quickly or?
It spreads quickly, and it's like it moves quickly as well. It progresses quickly. And now there was this, that there's not much study that has, because it's also very diverse and it's a very big kingdom, there's some of the fungi that we haven't found out yet, we're only finding out now. Some of the fungi that is getting better with the heat. Some of them are like busy adapting right now, checking to see, okay, if it gets really hot, maybe I should close off, maybe I should do this. But there was also this part of like, there was this candida one that causes...
That's a mushroom.
That's
A
a
fungus.
fungi.
Sorry.
Candida
So what is
aura.
so
I think.
mushrooms and fungi? What's the difference?
Oh, fungi
Mushrooms
is like
the fruit, right?
yes,
That's
but
what you-
fungi is the...
It's everything. The network,
it's
the
the-
mycelium.
What do they call it? It's the
Is this-
family that it belongs to.
Okay.
So it's like a fungal plant. What do we say? Yeah. It's like a plant
Fungus.
name.
Let's think animals wise. Maybe, I don't know.
It's like birds.
Like there's whales, there's
Like birds.
mammals. Let's say
Are
fungi is the
there-
mammals
Are there
of...
migratory fungi? That's my question.
Probably.
I mean, if you take it from one place and put it in another, I'm not sure if it could move on itself.
Yeah.
But mushrooms move though.
Okay. I'm not going to dispute that.
But they probably don't migrate in a sense that
That they move on their own.
migratory birds would do.
No, I don't think so. I don't think so. But I could bring
But
it
we don't
maybe
know.
from...
Yeah. Maybe we don't know.
Actually, we should look that up.
But there's probably that's actually a
Can
very
they
interesting question.
migrate?
Sorry, side note and rabbit hole. But surely because fungi live with other organisms too, they will surely travel together with migratory species.
Yeah.
Does that make them migratory too? Interesting question.
Or does that just make them a passenger?
Oh,
Yeah.
How they could
Passenger
migrate.
princess.
They're probably
is-
just a passenger on a bird or a rat. Or
Some fungi reproduce by releasing spores into the air,
They do. They do
Yeah.
that.
which are ejected into the atmosphere.
Yeah.
So imagine a whole gust of wind going.
It's absolutely thrilling though to think about that.
Yeah.
So from a health perspective, is that something that you're looking at as well?
It's something I'm interested in. I'm interested in that partially because growing up, also maybe because of lack of research, I never used to like hear a lot of people with like, like allergic reactions. Like it
Same.
used to be like in Zim, it used to be like you can get an allergic reaction from like pollen and everything, but now like seeing my nephews, my friends' kids, I'm like, there's always like a new allergic reaction coming up. And I'm like, what is this what's going on? Like,
Could
what's
it be
really
a
going on?
generational thing?
It really started like making me think that is it just that we have more access, like we have access to information more, but also it's also the fact that climate change has made like some of the fungi to spread even more, and all like it's really tied to each other. So there was these two fungi that were mentioned in that article that are very pathogenic. One is respiratory, and the other one causes like tummy issues or something. And they were talking about how, if it wasn't for research, then we probably wouldn't know that. So there is a lot of research in climate and health that is tied to biodiversity, where we actually do need the fungi. Do we know much about it? So we need to know much about it so that we know what will happen. So there's like a lot of risks, climate risks to health in the biodiversity space, in the water space, in the drought space, in all of these spaces. So yeah, those are the pathways.
Cool.
I'm just interested in fungi, but that's not really what I'm working on.
I would assume that research studies done on any climate change and health things would be geographically contextualized.
That's true.
For example, maybe like you said in the previous episode where you talked about your research in Brazil, there's the parasite worm that's in the water. Yeah, which is prevalent there.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna say the name because I'm gonna butcher it.
Schistosoma.
Schistosomiasis.
Yeah,
or
that's the
some-
disease. Schistosoma is the parasite.
Okay.
And then in Africa, malaria. I'm interested to know in other parts of the world what's like the prevalent research that's there, if you know of any.
I know for...
Are you talking about the global north? No.
I'm saying other parts of the world. When I said that, I thought Southeast Asia. For example, it's tropical there. What's going on there?
Dengue. It's
The cow fever. Wait, what is it?
dengue fever. It's transmitted through mosquitoes.
Oh,
So they have that. They also do have malaria as well. But they also do have... So even up west or east of Africa, there's like West Nile virus. There is chikungunya transmitted by mosquitoes as well. There's also some tick diseases like that is transmitted via ticks. And then there is snails, which is schisto. So schistosomiasis is prevalent in Africa as well as Brazil. So it's like really prevalent in global north, in the global south. In the global north, most of the diseases are like really quite respiratory. Like,
okay.
yeah, like usually colds. That's all like from the top of my head. That's what I usually see when it comes to like climate related. But there has also one time when they got schisto in France. And it was because of like, it got really good warmth that season. That if anyone had peed somewhere with those eggs, they managed to thrive and then get to the next person and everything. So the cycle actually thrived because it was warm enough, or it was just trapped in like a cold and then it was thriving.
Yeah.
But then that's very rare, I would say. But it's like something like that where like the geographic distribution of diseases is quite different. Also in terms
What
of
about
like...
in North America? Any...
I know
interesting-
tick disease like Lyme disease. That's the tick disease that
So
I wanted
that's
to remember.
Lyme disease. Then there was the Zika virus that spread in the 2010s from the Caribbean, northern Latin America to the US.
Yeah.
But also, and this I was like only semi-joking when I said global north, because malaria used to be prevalent even in Europe until the second half of the
Cholera.
20th century.
Yeah.
And same with the US and probably other parts of the global north. And it got eradicated, if you will, mostly by drying up wetlands and swamps, which were natural habitats for the hosts, for the mosquitoes.
So they intentionally dried them up? Or
No, this was not the intention, I guess, to dry up those wetlands, to basically actively destroy the habitat, could have also been developmental.
Oh, okay.
I actually don't know whether it was to eradicate malaria.
It became
But now
a byproduct.
we're looking at a situation where like existing wetlands may become those who haven't been destroyed may become opportunity habitats for those hosts. But also we're seeing a lot of renaturation efforts and restoration efforts specifically of wetlands and swamps, because they're also carbon sinks. So from a mitigation perspective, again, they become attractive in the carbon finance and nature finance space. So that could actually have an effect on human health, because it supplies a habitat now for disease hosts.
Yeah, that's also like a really great topic to talk about, of how like certain diseases are, like diseases where in certain areas got eradicated, but you still find them somewhere else, and you still find them like thriving. There is a group of diseases called neglected tropical diseases. Like they've been given a name. They're neglected tropical diseases.
Are they neglected because they're not studied enough, or
they're neglected because so there's the name neglected is mostly tied to resources that have been put towards those eradicating those diseases, and they actually do affect the neglected. So they affect the poorest communities.
Okay.
So you'll find things like you still have hookworms, you still have schistosomiasis, you still have yellow fever.
Almost like a cynical term, right?
Yeah.
Neglected.
So
not
basically, I
because they're
think what they
neglected,
wanted
but the effect they're
to
neglected.
Yeah.
I think
Whoever came up with that, you need to.
I think they wanted to like stress the point that these diseases have been neglected, and mainly because you're probably neglecting the people that are being affected by them. So every time now someone goes like neglected tropical diseases, you have to like, it's like a punch in the face, like, okay, I'm not going to neglect it. I'm going to look into it. But there is less funding in those diseases.
Is schistosomiasis also part
it's
of
a
the
neglected.
neglected?
Yeah, it's a neglected
disease,
tropical disease. There's like 17 to 20 diseases. They actually increase by the years, guys. That's the funny thing.
And how about that?
You would want them to decrease by the years.
So
But
yeah,
they actually increase by
they
the
should
years.
change them to prioritized diseases.
Prioritize.
I
tropical
just wonder,
disease.
is there anything underneath, if you will, priority-wise, the neglected? I mean, clearly there's the unknowns, and we're likely going to be seeing more of those, like zoonotic disease,
Yeah, cropping up.
through like ongoing environmental destruction, but also potentially climate change, again, from a climate opportunity perspective.
Yeah.
Right? Because hosts start traveling more.
I would want to think in neglected tropical diseases on the list. There's stages. There is like the first 5 will probably be like they are neglected, but they're probably studied more or they're funded more. I guess it also depends on how much which is subjective, how much people it affects. So if it's not a pandemic, people don't panic. That's also the thing. Like sometimes you start thinking, what does that mean? Like there are people who are dying.
We are a crisis-driven species where we only act when there's impending doom, and I think that's how people think about climate change in general. Where they're like, it's not happening now. Where's the
We panic when it gets hot. So we panic on the day it gets to 40 degrees. I'm like, no, we could have avoided the 40 degrees.
Yeah.
And so that's basically the climate and health space. Yeah. What I work on mostly is now really tied to like climate attribution. I've talked about it on the podcast.
Yeah.
But yeah, I just wanted to join you guys and talk about climate and health.
Thanks.
This was a nice conversation.
Host Precious, for being the guest today.
Thank you for inviting me.
I really
to your
enjoyed it,
podcast.
hey? And I learned a lot.
Yeah, this is great.
Yeah, so I think we can close it off there.
Yeah.
So thank you for listening at this episode. Until next time. Yeah. Bye.